Outlander, 5 biggest ways Claire has changed from season 1 until now, and 5 she's stayed the same. Outlander's leading heroine Claire has gone through quite a transformation over the years. Here's how she's changed, and how she hasn't. If a show has been on the air for more than 5 years, the characters are bound to go through some character growth. This also applies to Outlander. Although fans would say she is still as outspoken and loyal as ever, there's no doubt that Claire has changed a lot over the years. One of the main reasons for this change had to be when she fell through stones. Claire was forced to adapt to a society that was more dangerous than the one she was used to. However, this wasn't the only aspect that changed her. Want some examples? Keep reading to discover the 5 biggest ways Claire has changed since season 1, and 5 ways she stayed the same. 10. Changed, a regular time traveler. One thing that Claire has adapted well to is the concept of time travel. When Claire first traveled through the stones, she was unprepared for what waited for her on the other side. As soon as she arrived in the 18th century, Claire was accosted by Jack Randall and kidnapped by Clan Mackenzie. She was then held captive for several weeks. However, the second time she went through the stones, she was well equipped. She designed a personalized batsuit, where it could withstand the harsh weather and cold winters. She also took some old coins, medical equipment, and a few history books to guide her. Claire definitely adapted to the time traveler business quickly. 9. Stayed the same, family-oriented. One of Claire's most admirable traits is how family-oriented she has always been. Although Claire's relationship with Clan Mackenzie didn't get off to the best of starts, the surgeon did grow very fond of Murtagh, Angus, and Rupert. Claire has also come to blows with Jenny over the years. Yet, their fights have only brought them closer. 5 years later and every episode since has seen Claire put her family ahead of everything else. She killed geese to protect Brianna, traveled across America to rescue Roger from the Mohawk tribe, and has even formed a strong relationship with Marsley, the daughter of her worst enemy. At the end of the day, Claire would do whatever she can for her family. 8. Changed, she's a warrior. One of the most obvious changes in Claire is how she has become mentally stronger. As fans know, many of the characters have undergone some major ordeals and tragedies. For Claire, one of her toughest times occurred in the episode Faith when she suffered a miscarriage and almost died in the process. Although Claire was grieving for her child, she still managed to summon the strength to get Jamie free from the Bastille. Fans also have to applaud Claire's efforts in Heaven and Earth when she tackled typhus fever and became a female Bear Grylls in Uncharted. Claire's not just a survivor, she's a warrior. 7. Stayed the same, loyalties to Frank. No matter what happened in her relationship with Frank, Claire's loyalties to her first husband never wavered. Despite Claire falling in love with Jamie, the surgeon still showed she cared about him during her 3-year absence. The first sign of this was in season 2 when she asked Jamie not to kill his ancestor. Claire also proved her loyalty to Frank when she spent 20 years playing his dutiful wife. Let's not forget either that she never broke the promise she made to Frank about Brianna's true paternity. Not once did she ever try to sabotage their bond because Frank was a good father. 6. Changed, a better surgeon. Another aspect of Claire's character that has developed over the years is her surgical skills. When fans were first introduced to Claire in season 1, she was finishing her service as a World War II nurse. While she was on the front lines, Claire had been promoted to senior nurse, where she had to supervise other nurses and orderlies. This experience helped her attain a respected career as a healer in the 18th century. However, season 3 saw Claire decide to improve these skills as she enrolled in medical school. Now, Claire is a successful and respected surgeon in both centuries. Quite the glow up. 5. Stayed the same, still outspoken. One thing that hasn't changed with Claire's character is how outspoken she is. When Claire was forced to adjust to the 18th century customs, she gave a verbal tongue-lashing to several members of Clan Mackenzie. The first couple of people on the receiving end was Dougal and Angus, who stalked her because they thought she was a spy. Even Jamie has been on the receiving end a few times, The last one being for beating up Roger. If Claire thinks someone or something is wrong, she will make her opinion on the matter known. 4. Changed, a lot braver. Claire was brave when she volunteered to serve as a nurse in World War II. However, she has become a lot braver ever since then. Who would have thought that Claire's arranged marriage to Jamie would have been the best thing for her? Although she hated the idea originally, their union has seen Claire do things she wasn't previously capable of. Some of these include, breaking Jamie out of prison, challenging a priest about his superstitious views, and standing strong in the witch trials. As the seasons have progressed, fans have also watched Claire overcome prejudice by finishing medical school, trying to stop the Jacobite rebellion, and traveling halfway across the world to save her nephew. A completely different woman to the one fans saw at the beginning. 3. Stayed the same, trying to tempt fate. Throughout the series, fans have watched as Claire has a habit of trying to change history without thinking of the repercussions. When Claire first decided to stay with Jamie, she also decided to try and change history by preventing the Jacobite rebellion and Jamie's death. To do this, she was planning on assassinating Bonnie Prince Charles, but fate had other plans. Skip forward 3 seasons and it appears that Claire hasn't learned her lesson. Just recently, Claire has tried to change history again by inventing penicillin 150 years before it is discovered. Who knows what consequences this could have on the future if she succeeds. 2. Changed, a lot more selfless. One trait that has become more apparent in Claire as the show has progressed is her selfless nature. In the first 2 seasons, Claire was portrayed as very selfish and arrogant. She didn't really care about the consequences of her actions, all that mattered was that she achieved her desires. However, since Claire has become a mother and surgeon, this personality trait has disappeared. In season 2, Claire agreed to leave Jamie so Brianna had a better chance at life. Just recently, Claire had told Roger and Jamie that she didn't want Brianna to stay in the past because it was unsafe. Whatever the circumstances, Claire has begun to put other people's needs ahead of her own. 1. Stayed the same, loyalty to Jamie. The one thing that has remained a constant trait throughout the 5 years is Claire's loyalty to Jamie. Ever since the surgeon married the Highlander back in season 1, Claire has done nothing but support him. She helped break Jamie out of prison when he was taken by the Redcoats, slept with the king when Jamie was imprisoned in the Bastille, and tried to help him win the Jacobite rebellion. In the 20 years they were separated, Claire's heart also remained faithful to Jamie. Let's not forget how she moved heaven and earth so she could be with him again. Claire and Jamie were always destined to be together.